Chapter for Riel. We have a lot of people returning each week, and if that's you, I'd like to say thank you for sticking with us. If you're new and watching this video, we really appreciate that as well. Your support means a lot and keeps us going. Today's ride is from Heartprint. Thank you to them for keeping us well stocked in video footage for the news moto. The team at Heartprint have been very busy building a new house for a family in Siem Reap province. Here are some photos of the progress. As you can see, it goes up fairly quickly once they get started. Good to see them having a bit of fun on the building site too. Today is Wednesday the 29th of June, and in today's news we take a look at the health situation in Cambodia, along with a new push to ban beach vendors from Sihanoukville. We'll do a quick crime watch, and of course we will see who's been behaving badly behind the wheel in the wee hours in Phnom Penh. Alright, as I said, we will get started today with a health update, a roundup of all the latest disease and virus news. A sprinkling of COVID cases have been diagnosed and registered in the last couple of days, breaking the kingdom's run of zero COVID days, which was sitting at about 32 when this started to happen. All is quiet on the monkeypox front. However, dengue is emerging as the biggest issue right now, with 583 dengue cases in the past 24 weeks in Siem Reap. You have to be very careful with dengue fever because the mosquitoes that spread it do bite in the daytime. People need to take measures to prevent breeding of the mosquitoes, especially in storage areas of water or any other areas that water could collect, such as water troughs, plants with bases that can collect water, empty cans and bottles, and so on. Especially in the wet season, things get full of water when the rain stops, and they will breed in that water. Although the case numbers of dengue is sitting at just below 600, there have been no deaths. At the same time last year, there were 162 deaths, which is a silver lining on the outbreak. I was also going to tell you about the cases of syphilis that have been discovered recently, but our script editor has decided that your ears are far too delicate for such topics. The link will be there if you want to read anyway. Alright, we've made it through the bad news. Let's have some positive health news. A recent report from the Ministry of Health has indicated that maternal, infant and neonatal mortality rates have decreased significantly. The neonatal mortality rate was 8 deaths per 1,000 births in 2022, and that dropped from 18 deaths per 1,000 in 2014. Infant mortality rates also declined from 28 deaths per 1,000 to 12 deaths, which is a great decrease. Deaths of children under 5 declined dramatically from 35 deaths in 2014 to just 16 in 2022. Director for the National Centre for Maternal Child Health, Kim Ratner, said yesterday that the declining rate was a good sign in caring for infants, children and motherhood. She also said that nutrition is still a concern and more must be done to ensure that children receive proper nourishment. Now to a regional travel update. Indonesia and Cambodia have agreed to awakening post-pandemic tourism. The two countries have signed a memorandum of understanding, and the main takeaway from this is that direct flights from Phnom Penh to Jakarta, which have been suspended since 2019, will be resumed soon. That's great news. Traditional tourism hotspot areas in Cambodia have been urged to prepare to receive tourists by organising solid waste management. To boost tourism recovery efforts and attractiveness of tourism communities, the Ministry of Tourism and other environment and tourism organisations conducted clean-up missions in tourist areas in Siem Reap. They urged other tourism communities to organise solid waste management and prepare to receive tourists. The Bamboo Shoots Foundation, with the support of the National Committee for Clean City Assessment, had its annual environmental clean-up event to collect plastic waste during the rainy season at Tonlesap Lake near Siem Reap. We do have an early vlog of this event. We'll put the link in the comments or in the description. The Deputy Secretary-General of the National Committee for Clean City Assessment said after tourists visit the temples, they tend to visit the Tonlesap Lake area. With the cleanup project, the Ministry of Tourism believes that it will help promote cleanliness and environmental friendliness in the Tonlesap Lake and other areas, which is a factor in attracting more national and international tourists to visit the area. In Sihanoukville, authorities have ordered beaches to be cleared of vendors, apparently to maintain the orderly environment and beauty of the beach. Authorities spent some time observing villagers putting chairs, tables, stoves and things on the beach sand, causing disorder and anarchy, or maybe just a normal day in Sihanoukville. Anyway, the authorities have called on mobile vendors along the beach with chairs, tables and stoves to stop this activity immediately to maintain the orderly environment and the beauty of the beach. They have been warned if they do not follow the instructions of the authorities and cooperate with the relevant departments to implement administrative measures, authorities will seize and hold their stalls. At least this may decrease the number of things a drunk foreign national driver can drive erratically into. Next up, pot goes up in smoke and not in a fun way. The legalisation of marijuana has been big news in Thailand, but in Cambodia it's still illegal. 10 marijuana plantations in Takeo province were cut and destroyed this week. Kiravong district is infamous for the illegal cultivation of marijuana in the mountains. Despite the crackdown by the authorities, the illegal cultivation of cannabis continues unabated. Some people say that the illegal cultivation of marijuana is well organised, with rich people behind the operations. Maybe legislation isn't too far away after all. Let's move on and have a look at some criminal activity in the kingdom. 2 foreign nationals were sentenced to life in prison by the Phnom Penh Municipal Court for possessing and trafficking 10 kilograms of meth in the capital last year. Let's quickly check out that table of shame. Yep, it's pretty impressive. Next is a cautionary tale. Lured by a temptress, $10,000 stolen from a foreigner at Phnom Penh Riverside. A Japanese man has discovered the hard way that Phnom Penh's riverside at 4:30 a.m. is not a safe place to go and seek female company when you're carrying $10,000 in valuables. The man was lured into a dark alley and rapidly relieved of diamond jewellery and his Rolex. I wonder if he bought that at Central Market. Now to the drunk driver diaries, that section of the news that I know you all look forward to. A female foreign national was involved in an accident that happened little after midnight along Kampuchea Krom Road in Phnom Penh. According to sources at the scene, the foreign woman was seen driving her silver Toyota Prius at high speed. You would think that was a contradiction in terms, but there you go. Anyhow, the driver lost control of her vehicle and slammed into a light pole, causing severe damage not only to her vehicle, but also to the innocent light, who only wanted to illuminate Phnom Penh. And yes, she fled the scene before authorities arrived. The scourge of drunk driving in Phnom Penh continues with another drunk foreigner who smashed his luxury car. According to sources, 3 Chinese men were seen driving a white Ford Ranger erratically and at high speed. The driver lost control of his vehicle and slammed it into a white Range Rover, which was driven by a Cambodian man. After the crash, the Chinese men tried to flee the scene but were restrained by onlookers. Yet another drunk driver decided to pay an impromptu visit to a household early yesterday morning when he crashed into their house. Sources at the scene say that they saw the driver in a white Ford Ranger driving erratically and at high speed. Seems to be a common thread here. Seeing an approaching truck, the man lost control of his vehicle and slammed into the wall of the house. Luckily, no one was hurt, and it was left to the drunk to pay compensation and organise removal of his vehicle. Now we have a fantastic only in Cambodia story. A self-appointed Cambodian guru has drawn derision from commentators after he claimed that he has a new and unique method to solve debt problems. In a recent video, the guru says that he would like to share how to soften all the debtors' money. His method. It involves using 5 lotus flowers, 1 fruit, 5 bowls, and 5 incense sticks, and raising your hand and praying to Saktev Reach, the King of Angels. Luckily, social media commentators have proved to be skeptical of his claims. I think the line he has drawn between his eyebrows removes any credibility he might have had. And finally, in our good news story of the week, do you remember the 300-kilo stingray? She was named Boromir and she's a giant freshwater stingray. She has now been confirmed by the Guinness World Records as the world's largest freshwater fish. The record-breaking ray, which is an endangered species, was named Boromir, which means full moon in Khmer language, owing to her round disc-like shape and the early evening time of her release. That's just great. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important, or at least interesting, events in the kingdom. Thank you for watching. As always, links to the stories will be in the description, and we would like to thank our friends at Heartprint again for providing today's ride. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!